Yeah, I mean, here, let's see a
What do you
quick.
think of this guy?
Oh,
That's
nice.
a cool background.
Neko cat.
It also has my it's like my spirit animal right now, because this cat is totally like how I feel during online class now, where it's just like,
Oh, there's
that-
no in-person classes right now, or
well, it might be in person starting next semester, but last semester we got about a month in, and then they upped the state of emergency to something higher. So they did online classes again, and I do not do well with online classes.
Yeah.
Then again, no one really does. I thought it was just me, but all my classmates were like, "This sucks."
No, I think they've done research on it. It's like you only get maybe it's a much lower percentage than in-person classes as far as like knowledge retention, right? Yeah.
Sounded like you're gonna say 40%, and I feel like that sounds about right. Like it definitely feels
it's
like
like
you're
40
not
or 50.
getting...
I heard some, but like I'm not sure about the numbers, but somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like it's one of those things where I was describing to somebody the other day. I was saying it was like, it's like if someone said, every day you have to watch this 3-hour long TV show you don't like, or like this is boring as hell. And at first you're like, that's not so bad. Like the first week you're like, whatever, a 3-hour TV show. But then after like 2 months, you're just like, oh my God, like you're going crazy. You just want to like, man. And if the teacher isn't engaging, good luck. Like,
good luck. Yeah. Here's a quick tour of my room. Let's see. I got a view of what is that?
Ooh, wait.
Tokyo.
I live near you.
I'm in Shinjuku. Yeah.
I'm in Nishi Shinjuku. Yeah, that's the ward. But yeah, I go by there all the time. There's a that's the building that they used in the that establishing shot in Cobra Kai, and they added a fake helicopter pad on the top. Do you remember that?
Really?
Yeah, if you watch Cobra Kai season 3, there's a part where spoilers alerts, by the way.
Daniel goes to Japan.
They go to Japan.
Daniel goes to Japan, and he goes to like visit a certain company, and they do an establishing shot, like a helicopter shot of that building, but they CGI'd like a helicopter pad on top of it. I was like, I know that building because there's a Shinjuku Chuo Koen right nearby. Because like I'm up there all the time. There's like
the Koen's over there, the Gongyan, the park. I think it's there in the corner. Yeah,
you're right next to, so there's like a place, there's a office building there called the Sumitomo building that has like a bunch of restaurants in there, and I'm always there. So like I live near, do you know where the Washington Hotel is from there?
I have not been out of the hotel in almost over a week, so I have no idea.
Oh, you're in a hotel. Okay, I thought.
I'm in a hotel because I'm in quarantine. And then like you can see on a clear day, let me see if I can pick it up. On a clear day, you can see, so for our listeners who are like subscribe to us on YouTube, then you can see what we're talking about. But I
almost feel like going out to my balcony and like waving because there's a chance you might see me. Like
no
I'm
way.
that close to you.
You're that close.
Like,
okay.
Yeah. Like I'll let's see, do I have your, I was like, I'm gonna send you a ping on Google Maps.
Okay,
actually, actually I'm gonna message you in, because I don't want to like just say what building I live in. I'm just gonna tell you what building in Instagram chat to which one to Google, and you'll be like, oh my God, you're like 10 minutes away if you
And then this is the room. I have a nice pretty, like there's 2 beds, but I only need 1.
So I just sleep in a different one every night.
I smushed them together, so I have more space for like, I was doing some Brazilian jiu-jitsu exercises this morning, and then I do some forms once in a while. And then they brought me a there's a what are these things? These air
humidifier?
It's like a deodorizer. It like cleans up because we have to eat in our rooms, right? So it gets smelly. So I turn that on. That helps. There's a TV I use. I connect to HDMI, and then this bidet toilet is like the best thing ever.
Right?
It's so like I can't go, like America's a third world country to me now. Like I cannot go back.
After my sister and I visited here like 3 years ago, she immediately went home and bought one on Amazon.
Dude, it's like how I can't like you can't just dry wipe all like there's still you got to get that bidet. It really you feel so refreshed afterwards, like yeah.
That's why when people were like freaking out buying like toilet paper, even over here, I was like, dude, just bidet yourself.
Just bidet.
like I don't get what your issue is. Like, first of all, I was like, I don't know why you're buying toilet paper. Buy food. Like I don't know what you're gonna do with that toilet paper if the apocalypse happens.
Right.
But sorry, I'm sending you the
Okay,
of my building right now. Wait, so what hotel is that? Because no, maybe you don't want to tell that. Noise.
Well, he's in
Let's just say I'm
quarantine.
really obviously you can I'll tell you later, but yeah, it's like you can see Tokyo City Hall.
Yeah.
So you
That's
can
things
figure
like
it out.
I know most of the hotels' names around there, and just wait, I know which one you're at.
You know which one. It's the famous one. It's the famous one.
Yeah. There's a cafe in the lobby I've always wanted to try. But,
yeah. So basically, I'm here I just came in last week. No, just over a week ago for I'm here for like a teaching program,
I read like a thread one time
Yeah.
about a guy he just made a blog about his experiences in Iowa.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And like someone found it, and then he got in a lot of trouble, like with his bosses and stuff. Like they called him in and were like, "Hey, you can't have this blog." And he's like, and in very American style, he was like, "Well, can we cuss?" he was like, "Fuck off!" Like, I don't care. I'll do whatever I want. And then I think they let him go after like 6 months. I think they let him go. I think his like contract was up for renewal, and they were just like, "Nah, that's cool." So.
Oh, because he was blogging while he was working, I guess. Not after.
And
yeah,
he was,
yeah.
and he also wasn't. And I don't think they would have cared if everything he said was like, "This Akai was amazing." Like,
right.
I think he was complaining about a lot of stuff that I was concerned about. Which is that like certain companies might be difficult to work for. If you have a strong sense of personal justice. So like I read about like a lot of these companies will like, a lot of the especially Eikaiwas are very famous for cutting off your paid hours just shy of getting insurance benefits.
Oh,
what?
But then like keeping you late to like clean the out, like basically like you stay late past they don't record or pay you for overtime, but they keep you past your scheduled time. And so he was complaining about that among other things. And then, they were not cool with that. So, but I get it. I get where he was coming from, but I also get like being like, hey,
So how is the pandemic? Have we actually even started? We basically started, right? We
just like welcome to Yin and Yang, the podcast. We are here with Dan. Would you like to introduce the guest, your friend?
It's Michael Newman, and he's currently in Japan. This is Michael Newman, the sequel, the Japanese edition. Michael Newman goes to Japan. It's like Bad News Bears go to Japan, but except it's Michael Newman.
Exactly, and we still suck for some reason, right?
Because
I feel like that was in every Bad News Bears movie. They're always overcoming odds, and same with the Karate Kid movies always bothered me because it's like every time he's like, I don't know, I don't have any confidence, Miyagi, and it's like, bro, you can't keep having no confidence. So yeah.
How much are movie theater ticket prices these days?
They're comparable to the United States.
Okay, cool.
No way.
Yeah.
Because I remember they were $30 in the 90s.
Well, let me see. So I mean,
talking about like IMAX or
that's things like they have like at the Toho cinemas they have like it's like 12 to 15, but then if you watch it in IMAX it's like an extra $4 surcharge. I nearly went to see the MX 4D last night, and I think that's like another $12 or something like that.
Because I remember watching Days of Thunder, and I think that was like $30.
That might that might have been true then, but I'm pretty sure they're not nearly as expensive. And that was like pre-IMAX, right? That's like
that was like 1990, 1991, 1990, I think.
was like $30. Damn. Okay.
Pretty sure it was something ridiculous. Like I basically really had to have wanted to go, or somebody else paid. In my case, my friend paid.
Somebody was really into Nicole Kidman back then, I guess. He's like, I gotta see this. Let me see what the price is for a ticket here.
Yeah, but yeah, in the meantime, as far just to catch both of you up, yeah, I landed in Japan for that teaching program that should be unnamed for now, and then yeah, basically the procedure was pretty like when I went into Taiwan, it wasn't that great. So this is my second quarantine. I've been when I went to Taiwan earlier this year, and I had to do like a strict 2 weeks, cannot leave the room, just inside my room, and they deliver food to me. I could do like Uber Eats and Food Panda, which is their Uber Eats in Taiwan. But for this one, which is pretty interesting, is I can leave the room, but there's there's nowhere to really go except the top floor has like a small kiosk that's open certain hours of the day. It's a little.
And they
pricey.
let you out of your room?
Yeah, I can leave the room, but I can't leave the hotel.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's basically this.
Because you heard about that guy in Taiwan that got like a $30 fine or whatever just for like opening the door and like grabbing his food.
Oh,
yeah,
what?
like he like left the room for like some guy in Taiwan that like left his room, literally walked like 5 feet to grab something, came back, and they fined him.
Oh yeah. The guy he left his room for like 8 seconds, right? Yeah. So I guess he went into the hallway to talk to his friend, and then he went back to his room, and he got fined like 3,000 US or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Was it $3,000 or was it like 3,000?
It was like 3,000 US. It was like no joke. Yeah. Which is like really expensive because Taiwan is a cheaper living standard too. So yeah.
Jeez.
But
I looked it up. I'm a liar. It was like $17 back in 1990.
Well, that's still expensive with inflation, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me turn off the stupid background because you can't see my phone. Okay, so this is the price list.
Regular rates.
General admissions $19.
Jesus. Okay. I guess it's like it's like 1850. I guess with the exchange rate. I guess.
Yeah, and these are the surcharges if you decide to see it in like IMAX and like MX4D.
What the hell is MX4D? Is MX4D like IMAX Plus or something? Or
it's like the one where like the chair shakes and then like they pump in like fake smoke smell when there's like guns firing and stuff. And
I gotta try that. Okay.
They have that.
Yeah, I wanted to try it.
They have in LA at LA Live.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I've never gone to it, but yeah, they have it LA Live. And you want to go to watch an action movie like someone told me Mad Max was a really good one to watch.
Fury Road?
Yeah, because of all the car scenes.
That's a pretty intense movie. Yeah. Okay. But anyways, to finish my story, like I had to do a PCR test. So like Mike, you didn't have to go through any of this, huh? Because you came in right before the pandemic.
I was like a day or two, maybe a week at most before they were like no more flights into Japan.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I had to do I didn't know this, but we have to do so you have to do a PCR test before you go, and then you have to do another one when you land, and you have to wait for hours because they got to process all the test results, and they give you the results that day, but it's like 3 to 4, that's like 3 hours later. So plus the processing, like we were at the airport for like 5 hours. Yeah. After landing.
How much that test does the test free?
The test is free. Well, I think either the government's paying for it or the program's paying for it. So I didn't pay any money for it. Yeah.
Because I know people that are trying to like go back to America and it costs them like $150 to $300 to get their test.
I paid $120 for my test coming into Japan because like it's weird. Like Japan has its own specific form, and also it needs to be the report. The sample needs to be taken within 72 hours. So it's not like it's not the report. You can't just get the report within 72 hours. It has to be taken. The sample has to be taken within 72 hours. So it's oh crap, I gotta go pay for a 24-hour service then just to be safe. Yeah. Because if it's just like and they do the form and stuff. Because when I went to Taiwan, I just did like the free county one in in LA. Yeah, LA, was it LA or Bay, one of those. But yeah, so that was kind of intense, but got through it. I made some friends with the other people on the program that were hanging out. And then
did you guys all come on the same flight?
So there's different groups, right? There's like an LA group, there's my group with another, like we were grouped together with like I think another state as well, but most of them were from like California. Yeah. So we came all together. Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
All about that.
Have you ever done something similar or no?
Well, what should James expect now that he's in Japan? I mean, what have you learned in the last year and a half that you've been in Japan?
Well, I feel like life is fairly close to normals. I mean, like I go out to restaurants almost every day. I go to cafes. Like I said, I go to movie theaters. Even when the pandemic was at its like tightest, I was still able to go to restaurants, go shopping. I mean, the only annoying thing, especially for someone who is a night owl like me, is that everything closes at 8:00. I think now everything's closing at 9:00. That thing's like, I think even at one point where they were like, you can be open past 8, most of the restaurants just stayed closed at 8. I don't know why. Like I'm worried that like once things go back to normal, that a lot of restaurants are like, you know what, closing at 8 is kind of nice. Maybe we'll all just close at 8 for the rest of our lives. So
I don't think that'd be true.
Yeah, I mean,
outside the pandemic stuff, I mean, just living in Japan in general versus like living in America, what should James expect? I mean, is it like, are the people cool, or the best
everyone's
places to go?
Really nice. Like the other day, I was talking to somebody about someone I'd met, and I was like, "Oh, she's really nice," and I was like, "Well, that's sort of low-hanging fruit over here." Like everyone's really nice, so it's like that has ceased sort of becoming a
novelty.
Yeah, like a defining trait. You know what I'm saying?
But
I mean, everyone's so nice here that you're gonna do a lot of walking, a lot of trains. That's actually one of the things that I hope. One of the main reasons I don't want to go back is I don't want to drive anymore. I like walking and I like taking the trains everywhere.
Nice, yeah.
Konbinis. I mean, you're familiar with the konbini, the convenience store.
Yeah. Well, I am, but
culture. Yeah, but is James? Are you familiar with like?
Yeah, I guess some background. I've been to Japan twice in my life before, and they're only like a week stretch at a time. But also my the person I'm seeing now, she's Japanese actually. Yeah, she's in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's here in Japan, but we haven't been. Cool. Yeah, we haven't been able to see each other because I'm stuck in a hotel. So yeah.
Do you guys like walk up to the glass and touch hands across the window?
No, like seriously, I wanted to do that. Like a J drama or something. But
yeah.
But
or a bubble boy sort of scene. Like,
yeah. But we can't because the hotel elevator is locked, so I can only go to certain floors. So I was like, I mean, don't tell the hotel staff, but I was like hella pressing the lobby button, like, what? It's not working. And then eventually, like, I asked the information desk, and they're like, oh yeah, sorry, yeah, it's locked. You can't go down.
Your girl descends down on like a window washer's rig.
Oh yeah, yeah. What? So what we have been doing is that she's been coming to this area. She came to this area twice, and she delivered me some like snacks and stuff, which was cool. And I could see her like from a distance from my window, but I think the glass is all reflective because I'm like, hey, I'm hella waving, and she's like, sorry, I can't see you. Yeah. So
like you're the particularly bright mirrored spot on the top left. I can tell. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So that's my experience with Japan. I've lived in Taiwan. I'm very familiar with Taiwan and Taipei and Tainan, but
Taiwan has sort of the same like konbini thing going, right?
Yeah, they have like it's open 24/7. They have like
same here, even through the pandemic.
They have bentos, but I think the food, from my experience, the limited experience, I went to the most recent time I went to Japan was like 3-ish years ago. The food here is better. Like the bento stuff in the convenience are like way better, I think. Like it's probably the best in the world, I would say, maybe. Yeah.
It's funny though, because I remember when I first came here, I was eating a lot of convenience food just because, it was lockdown and it was cheap and convenient. And my teacher was like concerned. He was like, oh, he basically was like of the opinion that food is low quality. And I was like, are you crazy? I was like, compared to the stuff at 7-Elevens in America, this is like gourmet cuisine. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, he just sort of, he was like frowning upon me, like eating konbini food. And I was like,
maybe I should take a picture of one at the 7-Eleven, the hot dog spinning around that looks like disgusting, and send it to you so you can show your teachers, like, this is what I have back in the States.
Yes, wait, send them a picture of like a big gulp Slurpee of like, this is, look how much sugar's in this. Yeah,
because like they have that. So like there's the regular hot dog, but then they have the one that's wrapped in bread or something.
Yes,
corn dog. Yeah, or as they call over here, they call it America dog.
Oh, really? Oh,
which is corn dog.
So yeah, wait, have you guys ever had the 7-Eleven hot dog? I've had it once. I was super hungry one time. I had it. I had
here or there. Oh, no, in America,
in the US. Yeah.
I think we've all been there at that. 2 a.m. You're maybe a little bit altered.
I think,
and then you're like,
I think the closest I've had to that was like the movie theater hot dog.
Oh, those are terrible too. Yeah.
Yeah. Because no one
like
buys
$7.
It. Just, yeah. They're just like spinning around, and no one's buying that shit except for somebody dumb like me. And then I finally pick one off, and I was like, oh yeah, and it tastes like shit.
I think you get an achievement point if you actually had the chili, like on the chili nachos. Like
it makes it taste better though. If you put the chili on the hot dog, it's like one on their own they taste terrible, but you put them together, it's like 1 + 1 = 3, right? Yeah.
Well, that chili is like strangely good tasting. I don't know why. And not only but like it comes in like that bag. Have you seen them change the chili bag on that thing? It's you don't want to be there for that. It changes your whole perspective on 7-Eleven chili.
But yeah, Dan, sorry, you had a question.
Oh shit, I don't remember.
Yeah, I interrupted you, but anyways, but cool. I mean, let's start off with like what brought you to Japan, Mike? Like what was some of your first and then I can kind of share my reasons too, but
I came here for the first time 3 years ago with my sister because I'd never been. I hadn't really traveled much when I was younger. I've always been sort of iffy on airplanes, but I decided I would come visit. Actually, it's funny because I came here because of a band that I liked. My friend took me to a concert. I was like, oh, this band's kind of cool. And then my birthday was coming up and I was like, you know what? I should go try to see this. It was a Japanese band. And I was like, I want to go see them in Japan. That'll be like something fun I can do.
Yeah.
And so then I came to Japan. They didn't have a concert for a long time, but I just came to Japan with my sister because we couldn't wait any longer. And I was like, this place is really cool. I was like, maybe I'll try living here since I've never really lived anywhere else. And then my sister was like, yeah, you should do it. And I was like, really? Because at that point, your travel partner is supposed to be like, no, you just think you want to live here because you're on vacation. But my sister was like, no, you should do it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, maybe I'll give that a shot. So I went home, started taking Japanese lessons. And I was like, if I'm still taking Japanese lessons in 6 months, maybe we'll try to move over here and see what we can do. But if it becomes, the skis in the closet or the guitar in the closet that you made mom and dad buy you because you were like, I'm going to be a skier, mom, or I'm going to play the guitar, and then you don't keep doing it.
Right.
Then I must
speak Japanese,
but I did it.
But yeah.
It's like, I'll buy all these books. And then you just see these books in the corner 3 months later when you're playing PlayStation. You're like, oh yeah, I remember those books. So I stuck with it. And so I decided to come over here and give it a shot. So, because I knew in order to be fluent, you really have to like live here. So,
or marry a Japanese
and then the pandemic
wife.
happened.
So is it you just came by yourself?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And
Yeah.
James?
I tried to get friends to come, but they're all like,
have a life, have a family.
I have a wife and kids. We just bought a house. I'm like,
It's like the non-single life versus single life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's surprising. I there's someone on this program that brought their wife and kids, or brought their husband and kids. I forget which way it is, but yeah.
Holy
You could do
shit.
that.
You can
totally
afford it?
So
there's like a special part of the
so there's like you have to pay for them. They have to pay their own, like you're taken care of, like your hotel, your quarantine, all that stuff, and it's taken care of. But like for the dependents, you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So
that
it's doable.
Kid don't eat for free.
So Dan, it's doable. Which
two kids though. 2 kids.
the person has 2 kids. Yeah, I've seen a I've seen a but anyways,
I'm also 48. How old is that person?
That's true.
I don't think they're gonna like bring me over at 48.
Well, if there's one thing I've learned about applications, and like especially in Japan where they're very serious about everything, if you just lie about your age on the application, I'm sure there's no legal repercussions to doing that. Just tell them you're 32. You look young.
I mean, I told them my actual age. I'm in my late 30s, and like literally it came up in the interview, like, so I mean, don't take this personally, but you're a little bit on the older side for like people in this program. Like, do you think that would be a detriment to you? I'm like, oh, do you think that would be an obstacle for you? And I was like, no. I think I enjoy hanging out with people of all ages, and getting different perspectives, young and old. So
should have been like, because of the rheumatiz, I can't really hold chalk or a dry erase pen. So
right. Oh, did I say late 30s? I'm actually late 50s. Yeah.
It's like, sorry, Sonny, I didn't see over there.
But like, are you still writing, Mike, or because just a heads up for our listeners. Our episode, I just looked it up. Mike was in episode 12 of Yin and Yang the podcast. We talked about you were living in LA at the time, right? You were doing TV writing. Mm-hmm. And so how was the transition? What was that change like?
It's one of those ones that just sort of sneaks up on you. You know what I'm saying? Like where you don't you're not like, I'm not going to write anymore. I mean, I still get the itch every now and then, but I'm also don't have enough confidence in myself to write on my own. So my writing partner essentially had a kid, and by essentially I mean had a kid. I don't know why I threw that word in there. And so he just became, much more busy with that, and so we haven't really gotten to pursue that anymore. And also I live over here now, so even if I wanted to work, I mean, I could still write. I could write on my own, but I've always just been a bad self-motivator in that regard. I don't know why. I think just writing has always just been so intimidating. I always felt like I needed someone to like take the plunge with me. And so
perfect. Yeah. James is there. Yeah. James is a writer too. Yeah, he got his
MFA. Let's do it.
And you guys are both in Japan, same time zone.
And I know what hotel you're in.
Right.
All I just need to do is get a window washing rig, and I can hold the iPad up to the.
Right. We take turns on the iPad.
Yeah. We just do we'll just airdrop stuff back and forth. Right. It'll be good.
Or you could just use Google Docs.
You're obsessed with Google. He's always trying to do things the convenient way.
Oh, right, yeah.
Online.
Google.
I'm telling you, the window washing rig is the way to go.
Right. We can write on the on the dust of the window. Yeah.
Get a dry erase board.
Yeah, take pictures.
Go to Tokyo Hands, get a dry erase board.
But I'm leaving I'm going to a Mie prefecture after this. So
okay, I gotta look that up. Where is that?
That's near. It's far. It's near Nagoya. Yeah.
That's not so bad. You said, how do you spell it? AMIE? Is that what
you said? MIE. Yeah. MIE. Mie. It's the characters for 3 Mie. And heavy. Sancong. Yeah. Mie. Yeah.
Oh, okay. 3 and heavy.
Or zong. I mean, wait. So, Mike, do you speak any other languages or no?
I
Some
learned
Vietnamese.
Spanish a lot. My Vietnamese is very rudimentary. Okay, so you're okay. I see where you're on the map.
Yeah. So between Nagoya and Osaka-ish, yeah, but like near the water, yeah.
Yeah, I've actually heard good things about Nagoya, but I don't really know. I'm kind of outside of the major cities. I'm kind of illiterate culturally. I spoke Spanish. I mean, I learned Spanish in high school and junior high. And then I dabbled in some French when I was in LA. Vietnamese, my mom was Vietnamese and she tried to teach it to me, but it's too tonal for me, which is partly why I liked Japanese, is because it wasn't. I mean, they kind of lie to you. They say it's not tonal, but it actually has a little bit of tone to it.
Yeah. Like hashi and hashi.
Like everything else in Japan is very subtle.
Or ame. Like one of them's candy, the other's rain. I can't remember which one's which.
Ame. Ame is rain.
Yeah.
Ame.
And ame is candy, right?
Yeah.
So
well, at least it's not Chinese.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. It's like it wasn't Vietnamese and it wasn't Chinese, which are super tonal to a point where I had no ear for it and no patience to develop that ear. So yeah, but I've never spoken much Vietnamese outside of, little things my mom taught me. Like all of them were like centralized around my mom. So it was like, sorry, mom, I love you, mom. That kind of stuff. Thank you, sorry, that kind of stuff, but nothing complicated.
Is your dad is white?
Yeah, he is.
White American.
Yeah.
Oh, Hakuji, white guy. Yeah. He's a I guess what's the term? European American, Caucasian American?
Yeah, I think my sister did like a 23andMe.
Yeah.
And we're just the British Isles / Germany milkshake. Like we're English, Irish, German on that side. So
it's interesting. Yeah, you mentioned because Dan, you have a similar experience with your mom, right? Like all your Japanese is kind of circled around your interactions with your mom, right?
Food, it's mostly about food, right? But then I worked for a Japanese company. I learned some actual business terms, but I forgot a lot of those since then.
It's all keigo,
well, there's some keigo too, but the more important thing was like to actually talk about forecasting and to present things and
that kind of stuff.
Okay. Production.
I might have learned a lot of that.
For our listeners, keigo is like what's it called? Formal speech.
Polite form.
Polite speech. Yeah.
In Japanese, there's like 3 levels, right? Polite, regular, and like low.
Like there's like 3 levels to bowing too. Like there's like the slight nod. It's like I acknowledge your existence. Then there's like a deeper nod, which is like, being respectful. And then there's like the super deep nod where it's like I'm greatly sorry for causing you pain or something.
Like you are the emperor.
Like one person delivered like I guess I forget, like something to my hotel room and did this super deep nod. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Like what? Thank you.
Just when they give you your credit card back and they're like, here's your credit card, I'm like, whoa. It's like, it's cool, man. You can look me. You can just give it
chill.
to me.
You can look me in the eye. Yeah.
It's not Excalibur over there, man. It's just a credit card. Like, just it's cool. Yeah, same with like business cards. Like have you ever seen
2 hands?
Yeah. And you gotta like and you've heard stories like the American who's just like, oh yeah, cool, thanks, and they're like, whatever.
You put it in their back pocket. You put it in the back pocket. That's like the worst because that's like representing you sitting on them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only thing you could do worse is just be like, cool, thanks. Just like toss it in your bag.
You have to study it too. You can't just like say, oh, thank you, and then you like put it away. You have to study it like you actually are really interested.
Like you're reading, you're like, oh wow, I'll remember this phone number for later.
That's one. I mean, Mike. Sorry. What were you gonna say?
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna make a dumb joke.
I was thinking like that was one thing. Like just through the interactions with. Okay, so far I've had interactions with mostly service industry, right? Like people at the airport, people at the hotel. So it was, I mean, it's been a few, I mean, I'm familiar and my, you know, my girlfriend's Japanese, but like, even then, like it was kind of tiring because I was just like hearing like arigato, you know, arigato gozaimasu, which is like, thank you very much. And I was like, oh, you know, thank you. And I was like, okay, thank you. And I was like, I've said thank you like a million times today. Like, yeah. Or
but
like
you're continuing it too.
I'm continuing it, right? So like one thing I've noticed now is like I can just nod sometimes because sometimes I get tired from saying like arigato. So I just say, you know, I'll just nod sometimes. But I wonder if that's rude. I don't know. Yeah.
You could actually
I've been told you don't have to say anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been told like by other people, like you don't have to say thank you. You can just straight up just leave and not even acknowledge them. And I was like, yeah, but that feels weird to me. And so yeah, same thing when on my first trip here, it was like the store employee was like, oh hell no, you ain't winning this fucking thank you war. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, because if I said like, if they said arigato and I was like arigato, they'd be like arigato gozaimasu, and I'd be like arigato gozaimasu, and then they would say something that was like so many syllables that I couldn't keep track of what they were saying. Like they were just like, I am going to thank you to death. Like I was like, okay, you win. Like,
what if you did the past tense? You know, the whole thing, right? You know, you can go for domo arigato or arigato, and then, you know, gozaimasu. But what if you just say gozaimashita?
Oh, the past tense.
I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know what the difference is. I mean, I know what the difference is, but I don't know whether or not that signals to them like this is over. We're done. Past tense, buddy.
That's
Thank
like
you in the.
That's there's nothing else you can go from there, right? Because you go from domo to domo arigato to domo gozaimasu, and then domo arigato gozaimashita, and then there's like nowhere else to go.
It's like the employer would just be like,
like game over,
and then they will say the same thing, and then there's nothing else to say, and you can walk away.
Yeah. Their health bar goes to zero.
No, but I want to be the last one because I want to show that his boss sees that and he's like, oh no, the customer won the thank you battle. Yeah, so
you should get Osaka. It'll be a little bit different.
I think Kansai is a little bit more chill, I hear, but yeah.
So yeah, it also depends on the place. Like this you know, once I go to enough places enough times, they start. That's the thing, is like I don't know. I feel like I've sort of unintentionally just sort of become like a regular at every place I go to, and I don't know if that's just because I stick out like a sore thumb. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easy to keep track of the foreigner guy that comes in here all the time versus like other regular customers, but like they become pretty chill with me after a while. Like they won't thank you war me today. Is basically what I'm saying.
Do they think you're hafu, like a half Japanese or something, or
I don't know.
You get questions a lot. Yeah,
I definitely asked my teacher early on. I was like, do you think that Japanese people might think that I'm Japanese? And he was like, no. I was like, oh, okay, that easy. Huh? And I was like, even with the mask on, like maybe they might think, you know, because my hair is kind of dark and you know, I have glasses, so you can't really see my face that clearly what's remaining. And he's like, nope, no, not a chance. And I was like, even if I kept my mouth shut, I was like, okay. I think it's just, you know, my mannerisms, like the way Americans move, like their body is very different. My clothes just sticks out like a sore thumb. Even if I think I'm dressing like a Japanese person, I'm just not quite pulling it off.
Well, have you shopped for local clothing?
I've gone shopping and I bought a couple of things, but I'm not like I just know that like they really like, not everyone, but like it's really popular. Like skinny jeans are real popular, like really, really skinny leg jeans. And so yeah, when I like wear my like, it's actually kind of like I wear straight legged jeans. I wear jeans that for me is like skinny leg. Like I feel, and that's just not the same. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, on the flip side, like the older people, they wear high-waisted jeans, don't they?
Yeah, I feel like there also is just like a set of people and you know, older, you know, otoshiori included, where it's just like just wear whatever's comfortable, they don't care. So but even in that respect, I think I still get it not quite right, you know. So
Otoshiori, what's that? Is like the older generation?
That just means old. Yeah, it's just basically a respectful way of saying like old people.
Otoshi is age, right? And then or year, and then yori is like more than.
Yeah.
So I guess
you could also say rojin. Is that the other word?
Rojin.
Rojin. So I guess
I don't know which one's more respectful though.
Rojin. How's so I guess, are you over like because like in training they show us this graph of like culture shock, like, oh, you're gonna get this culture shock, then it goes you're gonna be like, whoa, it's so strange, and then maybe the excitement dies down, and then you start missing home, and then you go back to like, oh, this is just Japan life is just normal life now, you know. Like, where do you feel like you're at, or how was your experience? Because I guess for me, I'm just starting that journey.
Yeah, now that like you're in your hotel only, right? So it's not like you're getting as much. You're not getting as many opportunities for culture shock quite yet. Elevator buttons don't count because that's not a cultural.
I mean, the elevator they have antibacterial surfaces. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And
but I don't want you going back to like, Japan.
His experience with bidet, which is very important.
The bidet,
the bidet is
life changing. You can warm the seat too. I'm like, and like sometimes I'll forget to turn it off, and I'm like, oh my God, I just like wasted so much energy. But when I sit down, it's like feels so good.
You don't have
my
to turn
favorite
it off.
thing was
there's a sensor.
What?
There should be a pressure sensor.
Oh,
I don't know about.
But then, they vary in fanciness.
They might have it all the way on, but it's like not like.
But the second I sit on it, it's warm. Like there's no way it can heat up that fast. Like
Oh, you might be right.
So I turned it off now because I just, you know, carbon emissions, whatever. But whatever. Anyway, so
your carbon footprint. The third hotel I stayed on my third trip, the hotel I stayed at, like, I don't know if yours does this, but when you walk in the room, the seat comes up, like the cover. Yeah.
What?
So it was, to me, it always felt like, you know, when you come home and your dog's like, oh, hey, oh my God, you're home. Like the toilet was like, oh my God, it's you.
Oh, it's like tadaima.
Yeah. It's like, I want to eat your poo. I love you so much. I'm like, oh, hi. Like, it was hard not to personify my overeager toilet at that hotel.
I guess it must be a motion sensor or something. It has to be. Yeah.
Toilet technology in Japan's amazing, right? Not only do you have the bidets, you have the ones that the seat lifts up, but in the public ones, they have ones that make play music when you sit down, and there's some that have fans, and then
they make white noise,
or they have the ones where the toilet seat cover rotates, so the plastic rotates for you. Yeah. You know,
so it's like clean. It's not like you're sitting on someone else's toilet. Oh, wait, the toilet seat moves?
No, not the toilet seat itself, but the cover. There's a plastic cover that goes around it, and it actually rotates. And then
amazing.
There's been public toilets where they have a thing for a kid to sit down in. That's right next to the.
They have like a thing on the wall that it looks like
a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, or it looks like, you know, those swing sets they have for like toddlers where it's like a belt with like like they have that.
Which is awesome because you could sit your kid there and do your business.
Just like stare at your kid, just like, yep, this is daddy taking a poo.
And then they have shelves in the back behind you sometimes where you can put your packages there rather than having just a hook.
I've seen that in Taiwan.
In America, In America, I have straight up like driven home 20 minutes or more just to take a crap. Here, I just have zero qualms about
cleanliness,
using a public bathroom. Yeah, like the public bathrooms, some of those were better. Most of them are nicer than the bathroom that was in my apartment in LA, to be quite honest. So,
but there are still squat toilets out there, or squat places.
Yeah, Tokyo, it's really rare. Like, you're gonna see that more in Akka, but
in the countryside.
But
in Taiwan, you see that a lot.
Not that far out of the country, because I remember taking the Japan, the Tokyo, not the Tokyo Express,
the Shinkansen.
No, the Narita Express, and I had to get off at some point because I had to go use the restroom, and I just took off my luggage, and it was from Yokohama on the way to Narita, but I was still in between Yokohama and Tokyo that I got off and they had a squat toilet. I was like, not so good.
The funny thing is you're going to get really used to seeing signs that say like, do not stand on the toilet seat.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for people that think it's like a squat toilet, it's like, no, this is not a squat toilet. It's a $200 electronic bidet. Please do not stand.
Yeah, do not stand. I've seen that in like Chinese restaurants in America. Yeah.
But going back to James' original question, where on the curve are you on the cultural like shock?
That's the thing is I don't really.
Well, it's kind of hard in this pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, like I wasn't that. I mean, I feel like Japan isn't that crazy different than America. I mean, it's different in a lot of ways, but there's a lot of other things that aren't that different. Like, you know, riding the train, grocery shopping, all that stuff's pretty normal.
Fruits are expensive.
Fruit's expensive, and not only that, but like they just don't have. I mean, if you just want like bananas and apples, it's not so bad, or oranges. But if you try to get anything more exotic than that, it can get pretty pricey. I think I started like reaching the point where I no longer find every single interaction with a Japanese person to be novel. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when you first come here, you're just like, oh my God, everyone's so nice, blah, blah. Like you definitely feel like, oh, if someone pushed me out of a moving car, like everyone would try to help me. You know what I'm saying? Like now I just sort of like, you know, I think I was much more ginky when I first got here, where I was like, oh my God, hi. Like I was just much more excitable. And I think recently I was just sort of like, oh, it just sort of became like normal life. So I think I'm pretty much there. I didn't go through the homesickness thing too much. I was sort of, you know, reached the point where I felt like, American life, I kind of get it. Like I'm ready to see what something else is like now. So yeah. The only thing I really missed was In-N-Out. my friend, I momentarily forgot where I was. My friend was texting with me and he's like, I'm gonna go get some In-N-Out. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'll go do that. So I'll go get my car and drive 8,000 miles across the ocean. Wait, I can't do that. So that was the biggest pang of regret that I had. I was like, oh, I really wanted In-N-Out just now and I couldn't have it.
They might have Shake Shack out there.
They do have Shake Shack. It's pretty good. I mean, I've always been more In-N-Out guy than Shake Shack. Shake Shack's pretty good. There's one, you know, in Shinjuku. You're really close to one. So
there's also an umami burger, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember where I saw one, but there is an umami burger. They've got most everything you could possibly want over here.
Mexican food is lacking though.
Mexican foods, there's like a lot of good Mexican food, but some of it's not quite there. Like it's definitely not like the best Mexican food I've had in Japan doesn't compare to the best Mexican food I had in LA, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
They have some pretty good places. Yeah. Actually, like the place that I go to that's like near you, there's a place called Chop Salad Days, and it's basically you either get salads or you can get the salad wrapped in a tortilla, and essentially it's a burrito. It's not really a burrito, but it's a burrito, and it's pretty decent. I go there a lot. And it's like I said, like right near where you are.
Speaking of food, this is the lunches that they deliver here. Yeah,
so that's pretty decent.
Convenience store food.
Yeah, this is a looks like
Tonkatsu?
Tonkatsu or chicken katsu. Might be
Tonkatsu. Really?
I'll have to bite into it. I'm not sure. The meat looks pretty white though. Yeah.
Tonkatsu is white.
Yeah, pork's the other white meat.
Yeah.
Did the pork council spend those billions of dollars only for you to not remember that?
Yeah, the other white meat.
So sad. Yeah. There's some advertising executive in New York right now. It's like, oh, come on, man. That was like my thing.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's tonkatsu actually. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a restaurant right across the street from me that like when I first moved here, I think they still do it. I just don't ever, I ate it so often that I burned out, where they do like a bento, like that's like, this big. It's like 500 yen, which is about
$5.
$4.
That's super cheap. Yeah.
Yeah. and I would just eat it every day. Like I said, it was just when I first got here, I was like, this is a wonderland. I could eat here for pennies a day. But I got sick of it. So but yeah, there's plenty of good places around here that I'll try to show. I mean, how long do you get to stay here? But after what's the gap between quarantine and having to ship out to Nakano?
It's 0. I have to
zero.
Go, I have to leave like early in the morning because I guess because of I guess it makes sense because everything's been delayed because of the pandemic, right? So a lot of people, a lot of prefectures are not getting their teachers. Their teachers in like for a while or not at all. Some people are not even going to get teachers. Yeah, so I think they're kind of itching to have us probably go. That's the feeling I'm getting, I guess. Which is a shame because I want to stay here and I want to hang out with my girlfriend. She's not in MIA, so yeah. But
how long is the trip to there and back? Like, I mean, could you realistically come here on weekends and stuff?
I can take the overnight bus, which is like it's kind of like an LA to SF kind of deal. But I could just sleep on the bus. But if I want to do it like in super short time, I could spend money and take Shinkansen. But I hear that's like hundreds of dollars though, right? So
there's a reason people buy that
JR pass.
Yeah, the JR pass before they come here because it's like it's close to the price of a coach ticket on like a commercial flight.
Yeah.
So, but it's a wonderful. I mean, and for a guy that is scared of planes and hates planes, Shinkansen is great. But but I'm pretty sure that crashing in a Shinkansen is no better than crashing in an airplane. I try not to think of that. At least I'm on the ground. Damn it.
Yeah. I mean, 300 kilometers an hour. I think Shinkansen. I'm trying to think of any major accidents. I haven't heard of too many.
I think their safety records probably.
It's pretty immaculate.
Really,
I think there was one in China not too long ago. I'm trying to remember, but
I think it was Taiwan.
Taiwan.
There's a derailment.
The Taiwan had a derailment with the train, the regular train. Yeah,
but that was but didn't like a tractor roll down?
A tractor rolled down.
So it wasn't like the train was unsafe. It sounds more like they've got a tractor problem than
and then the train problem. The Gaotie, the high speed rail. I think there was a typhoon recently in Taiwan, and it was like stalled or something. So that happens once in a while. Like my girl
stalling, I'm fine with.
Derailment and that would suck. But are you doing any sort of dating out there or anything like that, or are you seeing anyone?
Not really. I mean, I went on a couple of dates, here and there, but nothing like. I mean, I dabble and bumble every now and then I'm just I probably have. Everyone in Japan is probably like, oh, did you connect with that guy that says 4 things and then stops to respond? Because I just Bumble dating apps kind of bug me. I don't know, something about the small talk conversation you get into with everyone when you first connect with them is sort of, I just have zero patience for it. I'm always trying to be like, hey, let's just meet up for coffee and talk with each other. I hate texting.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you? Hey, hello. Hey, how are you? Hey, what are you doing? What why are you here? What are you doing in Japan? The small talk conversation just
kills it.
Just you can't help but feel at the end of 6 or 7 of those exchanges that both you and the other person are the 2 most boring human beings on earth. So once you reach that point, it's okay, well, where do we go from here? You think I'm boring, I think you're boring. So
well, it's too bad that things aren't in person, because in Japan they do a lot of group dates.
Yeah, I mean, my friend, one of my other friends, he told me about his friend who invited him to one, and I was like, oh, well, if they're ever doing it again, please tell him I'd be interested. But there was this brief period after I moved here for about 3 or 4 months where everything was still open, normal hours. There was nightclubs and bars, and there was a cafe I would go to that was open 24 hours a day, and I would go there during the morning. But then, everything closing at 8 started, and so I don't think they do those much anymore.
Speaking of cafes, You know what I'm gonna ask, right?
Maid cafe? Are you asking about maid cafe or a girls bar?
Girls bar, is that another name for it, or
there are two different things as far as I know. Maid cafes are relatively, I think maid cafes are a little bit more on the up and up, I guess. I actually did recently go to one because one of my classmates who he graduated and he had to go back to America, and on his second to last day, he was like, I want to go to a maid cafe. Yeah, I was like, all right, cool. And for some reason, he nominated me to like do the research and find out which one to go to. So we went to, I mean, should I say the name? I don't care. It's called, it's called Akiba Zettai Ryoiki. And I don't know if you know what Zettai Ryoiki means, but apparently it's an otaku term for that space on a girl's thigh between her skirt and her thigh highs. Anyway,
okay.
Yeah. It translates to absolute domain, apparently. I don't know. I didn't know any of this until I went there, and my classmates were like, "Do you know what that means?" And I was like, "Nah, it's just a bunch of random words."
Is that the place where you like lie down your head on their lap? Is that space? Or?
No, somebody did when we were like trying to find a place. One of the girls in my class, she like posted a link to that, and I was like, actually, I kind of want to go to that one instead. Actually, the one I wanted to take my friend, the kind of one I wanted to go to is one of my Japanese teachers in LA. She told me about it. It was called Tsundere Cafes. You know what a tsundere is, right?
It's like a mean girl, right? Or
yeah, it's like the girl that's like hot cold. She's like really standoffish, but then like if you get to know her, then she kind of like warms up to you, and then she's like nice to you and then sweet. But then of course you like say something wrong, and then she's back to being bitchy to you, and you're like what did I do? Like that guy. So she was telling me that they had cafes that were themed tsundere cafes, where the waitress would alternate between being super nice to you and then being rude to you. And I was like, okay, I gotta see this. But apparently that was like a fad about 5 to 10 years ago. So all the ones that I had tried to find, all the articles I could find referring to it, the links were dead, or they're not in, like they're the most famous one in Tokyo shut down. There's supposedly one in Osaka, but I wasn't going to go to Osaka. So we had to settle for a more traditional maid cafe. Yeah, so maid cafes are essentially like the girls dress up like a maid, they spoil you, or they talk to you like you're their master, Goshujin sama,
oh gosh,
they try to like they try to pamper you.
It sounds like a hostess bar.
It kind of is, except for it's more innocent seeming. Like definitely the guys are there to perv out. You're definitely there to be like, oh my god, she's in a maid outfit, you know what I'm saying? And then they sing song, but it's definitely like it's more like
I get it, but the thing is, it's like everything's like a derivative of geisha, right? When you go see a geisha house, they're there to like entertain you. They're entertain you, songs and dance and do all those things, and then like no one can afford to actually go to a geisha place, right? A geisha house, and then so hostess bars are kind of like one step away, not even one step. It's like steps below, where you go to a place where you have conversations with a girl who pretends to like you or be interested in you, but they're not like as cultured as like a geisha person is, who's a musician.
Yeah, right.
And then now these cafes are kind of like that, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so the maid cafe is the hostess cafe. The way you described it sounds more like a girls' bar, where essentially you go in there, and I think they vary depending on like their pricing thing. Like I think some places you have to like buy a certain number of drinks, and then or like a drink an hour or something like that, and it costs
like a table or something, or
there's some sort of like time equals money exchange. You know what I'm saying? Either it's like $20 an hour to be there and talk to a girl, or you have to buy a $20 drink every hour. Somehow they do this like time equals money transaction, and then the girl will talk to you. But I think you also I think there's like one that I've never successfully gone to one. I tried to go to one on my first trip because my sister didn't want to leave the hotel room. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go in this place, see what happens. And they wouldn't let me in because I didn't speak any Japanese. But I think you had to buy the girl a drink too.
Yeah.
And then And then there's also like some places are legit, and then there's other places apparently in Kabukicho, which is like the red light district, where like there's some where like you end up there, and then they're like, oh, you bought $300 worth of drinks, and you're like, the fuck I didn't, and they're like, actually you did, and they, you know, it's like your word against theirs, and then they usually have like some scary looking thug guy,
oh jeez,
he was like, well, you don't have to, there's other ways to pay, and you're like, fine. So I've never gotten suckered into one of those. My before my first trip, one of my friends who's Nisei Japanese, who goes there all the time, warned me about that. So well, not like I was gonna like just let some random person take me into a building anyway. But maid cafes, they don't really sit there and talk to you. It's really just they're just your waitress, but they're in a maid costume. And
that was your experience, or?
Yeah. So I mean, this one. The idea was that it was so they have two with the same name. This one was 2045 AD, and the idea was that these girls came from the future, and it was all future themed and everything. And one of the first things they do is they're like, they all that's the other thing, they all had cat ears. So like the first thing we're gonna do, and this is all in Japanese, and I barely was keeping up with what was going on because my listening's terrible. But they're like, okay, we're gonna magically turn you into cats. So everyone close your eyes. So everyone closes their eyes, and they put cat ears on everyone. They're like, open your eyes, and you have these cat ears on. And you know, I played along. I was like, oh my god, I'm a cat. And then they make you like they make you end every sentence you say with like nyan nyan and stuff. And they don't call the bathroom a bathroom, they call the bathroom a litter box. And then like I said, like there's like the girl, you can buy packages where the girl like sings the song for you. And actually when the girl sang the song, I was like watching her dance, and I was like, this required a lot more choreography and practice than I think I would have thought going into it. I would have thought she was just gonna like, whatever, I'll sing this song and do some random movements, but there was like very specific pattern she was following.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then you like, you know, you eat dinner there, and it's like omu rice or curry rice, nothing too fancy.
Yeah, so it's kind of like these industry, like it's very interesting how Japan has really commercialized loneliness, right? It's really like, they have
companionship.
Okay, sure. Industries of companionship, but you know, essentially industries built off of lonely men. And lonely women too. I guess there's
because,
mostly lonely men, but there are lonely women. Targeted.
I mean, there's like some place I read about or heard about where you can actually go and cuddle with someone for like an hour.
I wanted.
I was interested.
About. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's talking about like my friend. She sent like a one of the maid cafes is like a take a nap with the girl. Like, I mean, there's no funny stuff, but it's just like it's basically just cuddling for an hour.
In Taiwan, there's a place supposedly I did not go, but like you lay on their lap and then they clean your ear.
You know? Ooh, well, there's a lady that will clean your ears over here. She's pretty famous, so she'll clean the earwax out of your ears.
Oh, really?
And apparently, like it's so soothing, you'll fall asleep. Yeah, I saw a video on YouTube.
But the barbers will do that too.
Someone else's channel, but I don't know if she's still like this kindly old Japanese lady, and she just like picks all the wax out of your ears with like tweezers, and she's like so precise and careful about it. And apparently, I don't know why, like everyone says this in the video, like it's so soothing, you just end up falling asleep while she's doing it. And I was like, I don't know if I could fall asleep if someone had metal tweezers in my ears, but apparently,
So cool. I mean, it's coming past. Sorry, were you gonna say? Yeah.
I was gonna say, but there are also rental girlfriends and rental boyfriends, like just so that you can look like you. And then also, I think the other thing you're talking about is there's something called kyabakuras, I think they're called. I learned about these first from the Yakuza 0 video game, where it's essentially the cabaret clubs. It's like kyaba is cabaret, and then it's kyaba kurabu, I think. Yeah, and it's basically like it's like the high end. This is like champagne up in the club. Like you have a girl and you sit with her and you talk with her for like 2 to 3 hours, and you spend like hundreds to thousands of dollars in a night.
Nah.
Like play Yakuza 0, the video game. It's on PC right now, so if you don't have a system. And it basically there's like a whole mini game based around the whole thing. So I've never gone there.
Yeah, so life seems like you've settled in pretty well. So dating is not really a priority. So you're just mainly, it sounds like you're going to Japanese school. That's your main activity. Yeah.
Maybe
it's definitely more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought I was going to get a part-time job, and I don't have time for it.
Yeah, but James, perhaps like one weekend when you come visit your girlfriend in Tokyo, maybe you guys can have her bring somebody else, because I feel like Japanese people, it's totally true. I feel like Japanese people, if you don't have like a local friend to introduce you to other friends, it's hard to break into that crew. Because
oh yeah, I've heard about that.
I remembered when I was working in Japan, like one or two guys were like really interested in like learning more about English, and they would bring me along, and then they would introduce me to other things, and that's how I got into like a group date or went drifting in the mountains of scuba. And I thought that was pretty cool. But if you don't have like one person to kind of like vouch for you, then you're not going to get invited to those things. So with you, James, you have your girlfriend who's a local. She could probably introduce, more friends for Mike to help out. It's just
at the very least, I just need the conversation practice.
Yeah. I think it's very much like the Masons. You have to know when to go.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
I know that, but I'm sketchy. No,
I think I've seen that on like one of those Japanese YouTubers talking about like Nobita from Japan or Utah Japanese. Yeah. So how, like, what's your social circle like now then, Mike? Are you hanging out mostly with expats or?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, when I first started at my school, I was like the only American. And so when I started school, there was only 4 people. It was me, 2 Canadian guys, and a Chinese girl. And then eventually the 2 Canadian guys left, and then the Chinese girl just left. She also left. So it was just, I started moving up in level, and they would start filtering in more students. But I was in many classes, it was just all, it was like 70% Chinese students, maybe about 20% Korean, and then 5% the rest, like Americans, Filipinos, Vietnamese, et cetera, et cetera. So it wasn't until the one semester I told you where it was like all online, where I learned so poorly that I had to repeat the semester, that I finally got other Americans in class with me. Because like ones that started below me moved up, and I had to stay in the same class. And so then I like actually started hanging out with Americans, which was really great. I mean, it's both great and awful, because now I'm even less practicing Japanese outside of class. But at the same time, like I have more people to like relate to. So yeah, I mean, yeah. And then I have like a neighbor who turned out to be a friend of one of my classmates in like a level 2. And so like he like lives like, honestly, like I'll introduce you to him if we ever get a chance. Who's like 6 blocks from my house, basically. Like we just randomly were like, oh, we live right next to each other. So we hang out a lot. But I don't really have a lot of native speakers. There's one guy that I met through Hello Talk that we like hung out with a couple of times. It's really hard to get anyone on Hello Talk to like meet up with you. I mean, especially if it's a girl. Like if he was a guy, so it was a lot easier. But like girls are like, every one of their profiles is like, I'm not interested in dating. And that's the thing, like I'm not even trying to date any of these girls. I'm just like, I just need someone to talk to. There was like one girl that took 2 years for me to like meet up with her. Like I first started talking to her like 2.5 years ago. And then whenever I was in town, I was like, hey, I'm in town if you want to like meet and practice English, and I'll practice Japanese. She finally wrote me back like, and then she just like ghosted me, not ghosted me. I mean, we both ghost each other. You just sort of like, you stop talking, because like you can only small talk for so long. She just like out of blue was like, hey, I moved back to Tokyo. Do you want to meet up for coffee? I was like, now? I forgot you even existed. So yeah, but we didn't really, I should probably message her again, because I do need more conversation practice. But like Japanese people outside of bars and like hanging out in bars, I haven't really. There's like a bar down the street from my house that has been closed for like the last 2-3 months because of the lockdown. But when it was still open, I would go there occasionally, and I would talk to drunk Japanese people. And that was pretty great.
So that's your level right now.
I was a little bit
like,
drunk too.
So your level right now is able to conversational drunk Japanese person, like your level.
Yeah, but I mean, I can also talk to like, I can talk to like the waiters, or I can talk to. I mean, I've definitely had like longer conversations with people here and there. And you know, like some of my classmates have Japanese girlfriends or boyfriends that they brought around, and I've managed to talk to them. And you know, I get to talk to my teachers a lot and try to speak Japanese with them when I can. So
Nice.
I've gotten better. Like recently, I got a lot better, but I'm still not. My biggest problem right now is vocabulary, I think.
Yeah. Are you looking to find a Japanese girlfriend, or that's not even like on your radar? That's like it would be nice, but or you're open to like dating an expat, or it doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, I'll date an expat or a Japanese girl. I don't care. I mean, definitely a Japanese girl would be great because then I'd have someone to ask all my grammar questions to.
Oh, gee.
But I feel like that's sort of you know, not a great reason to date someone just so that you know, like, oh man, we have nothing in common. In fact, we kind of hate each other, but she could teach me Japanese. So yeah, like I mean, I think I'm more interested in dating Japanese girls right now, just because that's mostly what I see. But you know, there's definitely girls in my class or like at the school that I've met or other expats that I've, and you know, like when I see them in Bumble or whatever, you know, it's not like I go, oh, American, nope. You're like, if I think they're attractive, I'll swipe right. I don't care. But
I mean, that's how I met my girlfriend. Was a language class in Taiwan, so that was yeah.
Oh, were you learning Japanese?
I was learning Mandarin. I was brushing up my Mandarin. She was more beginner level. I was more advanced, but we went to the same school, and at the time classes were in person, so that was really cool. So I saw her. I was like, oh, she's cute, and we got her line.
Nice. Yeah. That's the other thing about Japan is that everyone's very easy breezy about just exchanging line contact information with each other. So I feel like the United States is a little bit more guarded.
I guess my last question is like, what are you doing for like physical fitness or martial arts, or like, how you keep fit? Yeah.
I haven't really been going. I recently, so I've been vaccinated since end of July, and I keep talking about going to the gym with my friend, but I haven't followed through on it yet. I've mostly just been walking a lot. I mean, I walk so much more here than I ever did in the United States, so that's keeping me pretty, fairly fit. I mean, obviously, it's not pushing my cardiovascular anywhere. I haven't really been doing martial arts for a while.
Because you and Dan know each other from Choi LaFoot, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, every now and then, I'll try to remember part of a form, but I haven't really done any dedicated exercise in like a year and a half.
Dan, you're teaching classes.
Right. There's a Choi LaFoot guy in Tokyo, though.
What was that?
There's a guy who teaches Choi LaFoot in Tokyo.
Oh, from the same federation?
No, he's from boxing. He learned in Hong Kong.
Oh.
It looks weird, or not weird.
Is it?
Weird to me weird. It'll probably look weird to you because it doesn't look like anything that we do. Specifically the stances. It looks a little frantic, if anything. I'll send you a link to it.
I was gonna say, is it more Hungar looking or?
No. It doesn't look like Hungar at all. His stances are a little high. I think they're a little messy.
Oh.
But his power is good. It looks frenetic, and it doesn't look clean.
Do you think it's more like? Do you think he's one of those guys? It's like, it's more practical for like street fighting because the stances aren't so low and it's a little bit faster. Or,
well, that's how boxing people are, right? They're all about fighting.
Yeah. Maybe I'll check him out. I don't know.
I do know that they teach. You can find like different types of Chinese martial arts. I know there's a Baji class out there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
I think it's awesome. I mean, I'm down to like give one or two, like dabble in a bunch of different schools. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was never flexible. That always bothered me. I'm even less flexible now. So, yeah. I want to get back into it, but at the same time, I feel like I need to work on just basic cardiovascular. Like there's definitely days where I'm like, man, when's the last time I ran or got on a bike or an elliptical or something? So yeah.
I have a jump rope here, and I've been trying to do some jump rope in the room, but then there's like a Discord that with all the other teachers and stuff that are staying at the hotel, and there's like someone's jumping rope. I'm like, oh shit. Oh, sorry. I just added myself.
Who's that guy?
Who's that motherfucker? Yeah.
Yeah. We should find him and kick the crap out of him later.
Yeah. So what I've been doing is just like shadow boxing in my room. Yeah. I mean,
they're gonna find out. Yeah. They're gonna find out if they ever watch this or listen to this podcast.
That's fine. It was me, and I'm sorry I stopped. Yeah.
See, I mean, that's the thing is, at least you stopped. It's not like you're like, you know what, they're complaining, and I said I don't care. Like if they saw that, then that would be bad. But,
right. That's the American thing to do, right? It's like screw them.
Yeah. You're stepping on my freedom.
My freedom.
Yeah, my body, my jump rope. Right.
All right. I guess Dan, did you have any other questions, or Mike, do you have any other questions for us, or yeah?
Oh, geez. Yeah, they might be too personal in nature, so I'll probably ask them offline.
Well, you can ask, and then I'll determine, I guess, or yeah.
It's just more like trying to figure out like when we can like meet up or whatever. But you know,
oh yeah,
like about your schedule and like when. So I don't want to like put your itinerary online, but yeah.
James is I'm sure like until he like ships out, he's pretty much free.
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess we could. Oh, have you guys been playing Pokemon Unite?
No,
I have not. What's is that with your phone? You just like catch the Pokemon, or
that's Pokemon
no. It's like a MOBA with Pokemon characters.
Okay, multiplayer something or
battle arena or something like that. Like it's like League of Legends but less toxic and with Pokemon.
Sounds addictive though. I don't know if I could.
Yeah, it's on Switch and mobile game on like your phone or iPad. So
okay,
yeah,
cool. So you've been into that, right? You've been into that recently?
Yeah, my friend, he kept on like, you know, being like, you should play it, and I was like, no, I know how I get when I start playing these games, and he was right, and I was right.
He was right.
Yeah, that's why it was fun, but that's also why I was up late last night.
Yeah, I mean, people have been talking about like Squid Game?
Squid Game.
Oh, Squid Game. Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't talk about that. I watched that.
I haven't started it yet because I'm afraid. Because right now I'm in the middle of Crash Landing with You, which is like a Korean.
Oh, okay.
It's about the North Korean guy and a South Korean girl, like, you know, their romance. That's been kind of like, I was surprised. Like it's cheesy, but like I'm like, my girlfriend turned me onto it. And I'm like, this looks terrible, right? But I gave it a shot because it's something like, you know, conversation started with me and her, right? So, and I'm like, okay, I'm actually kind of getting into it. I'm rewatching the Evangelion movies, the rebuilds. Yeah.
I never got into that series.
Yeah.
If I spoke better Japanese, I'd watch more anime on Netflix. But it's hard. A lot of it doesn't have English subtitles.
Well, that's why
you should watch Alice in Borderland.
Oh, I heard that's fun. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that you have a VPN, right? Or no? You get a virtual private network.
Yeah, so my TV lets me log into Netflix, so I get Netflix Japan on my TV. But if I want Netflix America, I can watch it on my iPad with VPN.
Yeah.
I also need a VPN for my Disney Plus, my Hulu, HBO Max, and some other thing that I use.
Yeah.
So
VPN.
Yeah, I use a VPN a lot.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Cool.
Right.
I guess we'll go into language corner. Yay! So
Yay.
Language corner is we share something cultural, some like a phrase or something we've learned. So we're in Japan. One phrase I learned that I liked a lot. I don't know if I shared it last time or not. Ojamashimasu. So like you enter someone's house, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry for the intrusion. Ojamashimasu. And then when you leave, you say ojamashimashita, which is the past tense of that. It's like, thank you, it's kind of like thank you for having me almost, but not really, but something like that. So
thanks for letting me impose upon you.
Yeah. So like I heard when my girlfriend came over when we were in Taiwan, she came over one time and she said something. And it's like, well, what is that? What did you just say? It's like, oh, ojamashimasu. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool that there's a phrase for that.
Yeah.
Any phrases from you guys?
Well, Mike actually he said a couple already, right?
Yeah, so I wrote down some. There's tsundere, which is the the bipolar girl, I guess you could kind of say.
I like to refer to it as the traditional ice queen that you try
queen.
to melt. You know what I'm saying? Like she's like, ugh, whatever, I hate you, but I love you, but I hate you.
Guys, be careful of tsunderes. Yeah, don't. Yeah. You can't change her. Just
they're fun on paper. Yeah,
they're fun on. Well, they might be good in bed too, but like it's maybe not worth getting stabbed. You know? Yeah.
But then you also mentioned that zettai. I don't know, whatever it was.
Oh yeah, zettai ryoiki. I can show you the kanji later.
Yeah,
and then you know what zettai is, right?
Yeah,
zettai
definitely.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to limit yourself to just those two phrases. If you want to share something else that you
oh god, was there any other fun stuff I learned recently? Let's see. Not that I can think of right now. I mean, those were
pretty good.
yeah, those are pretty great just to begin with.
Yeah.
And it's not often I learn a new phrase that I haven't, that someone hasn't. There's actually one that I learned from my Japanese grammar book, the first one I ever learned from. And I'm surprised at how many people don't know this. I thought it was one of those trivia things that basically everyone knows, what the origin of the name Godzilla or Gojira is from.
Oh, the whale?
Yeah, it's gorilla whale.
Oh, what?
Because Kujira is whale and Gorira is gorilla. And so Gojira is Kujira and Gorira portmanteau.
Mashup, yeah.
Oh, so it's not like God.
Yeah. Godzilla was the
American
attempt to make that word sound cool in English.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
let's see. Godzilla. So it means gorilla whale.
Yeah, or it's a mashup of the word for gorilla and the word for whale.
Kind of like karaoke. Karaoke is a mashup of empty orchestra.
Really?
Orchestra. And Pokemon. You know Pokemon, right?
What?
It's Pocket Monster.
Pocket Monster. Pocket Monster.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Oh, so Digimon is digital monster.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's a Go, I guess is, or like
portmanteau.
Yeah. It's like
it's
taken from English and then what'd you say? What was that?
I think it's called a portmanteau when you smash up two words to make a new one.
Portmanteau. I'll have to look it up.
And you know what they call Super Smash Brothers over here? It's Sumabura.
Oh, really?
Sumabura.
Yeah. Sumabura, yeah.
That's just like taking the first syllable of each thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. There's another one I learned. I'm trying to look it up right now, but
do you remember what it meant? Because I might know it.
No.
Do you know what the meaning or context was?
There's another one. There's like Okita. It's like sorry for leaving early. That's a Japanese one. It's like sorry for leaving early. Like Okita
Shitsureshimasu?
Shitsureshimasu, something like that, yeah.
Shitsureshimasu.
There's a lot of like polite sayings, but like I wonder, that's another thing I think I'm gonna have to get used to, is like all this surface level politeness, like yeah. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with surface level politeness, it makes things go easier, but but what do you really feel,
Oh yeah, I definitely they talk about that. It's called honmei, and what's the other word? It's like there's two words, like honmei and tatsu. I can't remember what it is. It basically means like your surface and your inside. Like basically like the thing, like if someone comes out like, hey, you're like, oh, that's a beautiful dress, but in your mind you're like, oh my god, that dress is ugly. Like that is a big thing here. Like you always say something nice even if you don't feel it, and then later with your real friends you might say what you really think.
So there's a term for that. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, if you look up honmei, honme, it'll give you the word for the other side.
Okay.
and it'll talk a lot about it, like surface politeness versus like real thoughts. I mean, it doesn't always have to be as extreme as what I just said. You know, like, you don't have to be like, oh, I'm a total asshole on the inside and I'm like the nicest person on the outside. It could just be sort of like, you know, true thoughts versus
giri.
Yeah.
Is it giri?
Let me see.
They have giri versus honmei. Giri, Giri.
Honmei. Tatemae. Sorry.
Tatemae.
Honmei or honne, sometimes they spell it with an M or an N in that second letter. Honmei and tatemae. Mai means in front, and I think tate means building, or to build or to construct.
Honmei, tatemae.
So honmei is your true feelings. And if you know Japanese, I think kanji, it's book sound.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The other one is building or build in front.
Oh, so how's your kanji coming along? That's usually the hardest, right?
It's coming along. It's actually coming in this weird, like cyclical state. Like they teach it to us so fast that I'll pass the tests and then forget them like a week later.
Oh, it's like cramming, I guess. Yeah.
But then what's happening is like all the stuff I was forgetting in the first books, like when they're teaching me stuff now, it's using those kanji. So it's like forcing me to remember the stuff I already learned and forgot. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely getting to the point where I'm impressing myself at how much more I can understand. The meaning is not always, I usually remember the meaning more than I remember the pronunciation.
Oh,
like,
yeah. I mean, I'm a Chinese speaker, so I know that feeling.
Yeah. And they have so many kanji that have the exact same sound.
Yeah.
You know, you're learning like 20 words, and I had 3 different like say the other day, or 3 different like hyo or something like that. And you're like, well, which hyo do you want? Like there's 3 of them. So yeah, that can get really frustrating.
Right.
I love writing them. Writing them's fun. I'm really good at knowing the stroke order, but I don't think that's going to win me any prizes. So.
Oh, well, in calligraphy it would, but yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think they give out JLPT certificates for the guy that just knew the stroke order the best.
Yeah. I'm using this app called Kanji. It's pretty fun. It teaches you the stroke order.
Here's tatemae.
Tatemae Jianqian. So like healthy front.
Is that healthy?
Well, I know it could mean. Actually, no. Healthy has another radical in it. That's like to construct, maybe.
Build, right? Build in front. Yeah.
Oh, to build a front. Yeah.
But what was the app you're using? Because I was using Anki. Everyone uses Anki.
Yeah, Anki's fun. Like but that's the one you have to make yourself, right? Like Anki,
yeah. Or you can download other people's pre-made decks.
But, right. I've used Kanji. It's this one. Let's see.
I don't think so.
It's like this one right here, Kanji.
I might have downloaded.
Yeah, that one's for like learning how to write characters and their pronunciation. Yeah, I just started that one. That was kind of fun. I use gshow.org a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
So the dictionary I downloaded was called Imiwa. Yeah, you can see it right there.
Is it the red one?
Yeah, the red one.
Imiwa.
Imiwa literally means meaning.
Oh.
It's the word meaning and then the subject marker.
Oh, the subject marker. Yeah. It's all about the particles, right? In Japanese, right? Yeah.
Oh my God, yes, they drive me crazy.
That's a very Japanese specific thing, is the particles.
Yeah. They'll still sometimes give like a particle quiz in like level whatever I'm at, 5 or 6 now, and I'll still be like, what? I'll like spend like an hour doing this particle quiz trying to look up everything. And I was like, how am I still doing this after
it's like
years?
Iki ni, go somewhere. Yeah.
Is it O? Is it ga? Is it wa?
Yeah. Well, hey, Mike, it was good. Yeah, it was good catching up with you. Yeah, hope the rest of your day goes well.
Oh, thanks, man. You too. And yeah, like I said, next time you come back into town, I'll try to take you to some of the restaurants I've discovered.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I got your IG, but yeah, we can exchange like line and other stuff later. Yeah.
For sure. Sounds good, man.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
All right.
Good seeing you, Dan.
Guys. Good seeing you.
Okay.
See you guys.
Bye.
All right. I'm gonna end the recording now.